Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel. And in today's topic, I'm going to discuss something very specific about nakshatras and genetic blueprints. What if I told you the nakshatras and your horoscope is not your future? It is your shaping your biology and it is shaping your DNA, which responds to the frequencies and that determines your future. And this may find very interesting for you and also confusing. But once you understand how all these things work, how the genetic blueprint works, so this will be very amazing subject for you. So here in this topic, today's topic, I'm going to discuss about epigenetics, how nakshatra energy is shaping your future, how nakshatra determines your life path, life purpose, as well as your genetic blueprint and the way you shape your life. So this is going to be very scientific approach for the astrology, what exactly the astrology says scientifically about how these the timings, the birth timings and your Dasha timings shape up your lifetime and the things you do in your life. So let us look into what is epigenetics and different types of gene keys and what happens, when there is cosmic energy levels change, what happens inside your biology. So this is going to be very, very interesting. So first of all, let us understand what is this cosmic blueprint means. See, we know that 27 nakshatras, they are arranged in 360 degrees. And when you are born, your birth chart is determined from where you are born, which time you are born, and your longitude and latitude. So that gives your center. And based on the center where you are, the energy of nakshatras and energy of planets that are in your biology that determines the power you have, the things you do, the life path, life purpose for you. So that is called epigenetics. Epigenetics means life expressions and life experiences, and then your life path. So how you experience your life, how you perceive your life, and what are the biological changes you go through along with the cosmic changes. So genes, that is DNA, they are the switches inside you. And there are totally, in this cosmic world, there are 64 gene types or gene keys. So which are very important. And within the cosmic dance of stars, in the sense when there is a movement of planets in different stars and the energy levels that change in this cosmic world, that is a celestial blueprint which imprints on you, and in return your genetic blueprint changes and your life journey changes. So we'll understand first of all how the body works. So in our body we have three main granthis. Granthis means the organs that control the entire system. So one is called Brahma Granthi. Brahma Granthi is the Granthi which controls the creative energy. The second Granthi is Vishnu Granthi. So Vishnu Granthi is responsible for, love, pleasure, or feeling the worldly things. And Rudra Granthi is like antenna. It receives and transmits energy from you. So this is one main responsible for receiving the signals or receiving the frequencies into your body and releasing the frequencies from your body. So there are three main granthis and there are three main nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So the combination of Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna and Rudra Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, and Brahma Granthi, they are going to determine your system, and based on how you breathe, what energy you receive at different points of time, and the different dasha periods that you are running. I'm not going to discuss about these nadis or granthis in detail here. There will be a different video for this. So I'll be publishing a different video on nadis and granthis. But what we need to understand is, our body produces electromagnetic waves, which interacts with the cosmic energy or cosmic frequencies. And based on the energy that we carry, so our biological changes are determined, and hence our life path will be determined. So these things are very important to understand how the body works. And the spinal cord is the main carrier of the different energies, and it supplies energy to all the different organs through these nadis, and they are connected to each other. And in the Western astrology, there's something called human design. So where you can see that different body parts are connected with the different channels. So each channel has specific meaning. So that we will explore a bit later. But right now, so let us understand at the very high level how the three different granthis are connected with the three different nadis, which determines a lot of things about our life. So now let us look at the earth, and around the earth, okay, if you look at from the sky, there are 12 different rashis. Rashis means the zodiac signs, and it is arranged in 360 degree. And in those zodiac signs, how the nakshatras, these 27 nakshatras are arranged in an ecliptic grid that you can see. So in the lunar mansion, you can see how the 27 nakshatras are organized in these zodiac signs, and in the same way, around our spinal cord, all this energy of nakshatras are also organized. So what we say is, Yat Brahmande Tat Pindand, means how the world or the cosmic world is organized. In the similar way, the human body also organized. And this spinal cord, each of the nodes in the spinal cord responsible for a particular nakshatra energy. So that is why, human being is called Nakshatrani Rupam. Nakshatrani Rupam means the energy of all these nakshatras impact a specific organ inside your body. So based on your time of birth, based on your longitude and latitude of your birth, these energies are determined. And how do you determine these energies? So your voice, the voice that you carry, is representative of some of energies that come out from your spinal cord. So which is very, very interesting. And the spinal cord, around the spinal cord, okay, the electromagnetic waves get produced. That is how the human biology works. So it will be very, very interesting. So, you might have heard about law of attraction, or, the aura, many things. Okay, all these things it's based on your biology and the relative frequency of nakshatras. So this will be very interesting topic to know and how these things work. So let us look into the dasha periods. So everyone has a horoscope, everyone, goes through good period, shadow period means bad period, and that is called dashas. Dashas means you might have heard about Vimshottari dashas. So dasha activates a specific gene expression theme because the dominant energy of that particular dasha means the lord of the dasha is dominant during that period. So environment, the cosmic environment plus dasha determines your expressions and your outcomes. So epigenetics changes when you are happy or when you are under stress cycles. So the epigenetics completely changes. So dasha windows are the reprogramming opportunities because they're the learning opportunities where you can understand that something is either going wrong or something is going right and how to make it better. So the planetary themes, planetary movements, and the dasha periods, they influence biological tendencies that what we call as patterns. So your dasha does not change your life. It may change how your gene expressions or gene express your life. So your life is based on your expressions, that is gene expressions. So that is going to be very important to understand here. Okay, so genetic transformation, okay, is your resonance. Your resonance means the sound you produce. That is your state of your health, state of your mind, and state of your work. So when you perform well in all those areas, you may feel sound, very confident, and your sound will carry that frequency that may impact the surroundings. But when your health is not good, your state of mind is not good, you're stressed, your work is not going well, so your voice may become feeble, you may lose your confidence, and your resonance may be weaker. So your sound is tells everything about you. So everyone has some or other issues in these areas. Your resonance causes issue with various areas of life. So life is all about experiences and expressions repeatedly that you go through in your life. So when you look at the real world patterns, okay, mainly the shadow patterns, we call it as dashas. So mainly, people go through difficult periods when they encounter Saturn dasha. So especially when you look at the planet Saturn, so Saturn is called Manda Graha. Manda means slow down. So it slows down everything. And that you feel as, punishment. So you may have to work hard and you may have to be disciplined because Saturn Dasha, that automatically your biology slows down. And when your biology slows down, world occurs to you like everything is going slow. But world has not changed. Your biology has changed. So that is what is Dasha. So Saturn Dasha is Manda Dasha, means you may feel everything is going slow, not for your expectation. You may feel frustrated. You may have encountered health issues. So that is why these are called Chaya or shadow planets. Shadow planets means it is not giving you enough light, means it is pushing you into darkness. So similarly, Rahu Dasha. Rahu is north node. So that creates illusion, obsessions, and it gives certain addictions. So Rahu's nature is something very different where it creates phobia, it creates worries, it creates health issues, it creates sudden events. So that is what is Rahu is. So you may see the patterns or your biology is suddenly changing, irrespective of you know anything, you doesn't know anything, it doesn't matter. So Rahu gives either sudden gain, sudden falls. Okay. Similarly, Ketu is detachment. So it changes your lifestyle according to the period of a particular planet. So shadow planets you may feel you are going through punishment. Okay, you are going through difficult period. So you may not get an answer why this is happening. But during this period, automatically your biology is going through some sort of transformation. Either it's in a negative direction or positive direction. So your horoscope may set the timing, but your lifestyle decides how your genes respond to it. So when you understand, okay, how you have to modify your genes in order to handle this efficiently. So this will give you a lot of insights into how to handle those things. So let us look at few things here. What is energy drain or brain drain? So a lot of people waste their energy. See, when our nervous system basically is it's an entire software, our nervous system. So sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Like when you are calming down, when you are resting in the restful condition, and when you are in a stressed condition, this nervous system work alternatively. Now, because the human body, human brain is designed to, get into a survival mode, we always think more in the negative direction. Means we are always worried, we are always thinking about negative things, our brain is always working, thinking something, thoughts per second. We have thousands of thoughts coming in a minute. So people do overthinking, gossiping, no focus, managing lies, sleep patterns, restless patterns, eating junk food, negative thinking, okay, or attachment, too much of attachment, or no hobbies or no work, lot of boredom. So what happens is when you are under these conditions, okay, your brain gets exhausted. And when your brain gets exhausted, the phobia gets into and your nervous system becomes restless. When your nervous system becomes restless, the electromagnetic waves that you produce becomes completely distorted. So when electromagnetic waves distorted, so what happens is, so just 1 minute, when electromagnetic waves okay, so when electromagnetic waves gets distorted, then the signal that you give to the cosmic world is very, very weak. And cosmic world does not understand, you know, the emotions that you go through. It takes your signal and processes. So our mind, body, and soul that produces the energy. Okay, this is a triangle. So you must understand that energy is produced in a triangle. Means there should be three elements coming together to produce an energy, any kind of energy. Okay, so here the human mind, body, and soul they come together to produce energy. Now, your body is the direct product of what food you eat, and your mind is a direct product of the thought that you carry. Okay, and soul is already having inside your body having a direction. Now, based on what you eat and what you think, automatically some energy get produced, whether either it's a negative energy or positive energy. So energy outcome is based on what you think and what you eat. So this is going to be very important in understanding, the cosmic interference or cosmic direction in determining our genes. Now, in the Vedic process of how to cleanse or how to become more efficient, it is said that the sattvic process or sattvic food. So there are sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. So I'm going to talk about way of becoming sattvic, because most of the planet give very good result in sattvic energy. Okay, so in the Vedas, it is said that when you do the remedy or when you cleanse yourself, okay, because you might have gone through you might have done a lot of negative things in life. You might have eaten a lot of negative foods in your life. Now, in order to purify your mind, body, and soul, the important thing is, first step in this process is cleanse your body. That's called Deha Shuddhi. So you might know that when you are visiting any temple or before visiting any temple or before you do any auspicious programs, so you should be doing the vrata. Vrata means ritual of certain process, eating the food, some restrictions in eating the food, no alcohol, okay, all these things. So that is called Deha Shuddhi. Then at the same time, Manashuddhi. So when people visit Shabarimala, before visiting the Shabarimala, 48 days they need to be on these rituals. They should be eating sattvic food. They should be doing the bhajans and satsang. Satsang means discussing good things with like-minded people. Okay, that is Manashuddhi. So Deha Shuddhi and Manashuddhi, that is Vyakta Bhavas. Vyakta Bhavas means that is something you can do. And then automatically when you do this, the Atma Shuddhi happens. Automatically it happens. Because soul finds its direction, because soul gets cleansed. Because the soul is sitting inside your body, where your mind and body is determining certain energies. Okay. And it interacts with the Avyakta Bhavas. So as we know, we exist in a parallel world. Means there are 14 different lokas. Lot of them are not visible to us because we exist in only three-dimensional plane. That's why whatever we see, we feel like it's a reality. But previously Rishis, Munis, they had access to many worlds. They could travel. Their mind could travel to lot of worlds with lot of speed, and they can understand. They could have understood lot of things, what is happening there, what is happening in another loka. So this is not something fantasy world. This is true, because if you do certain sadhanas or if you raise your energy levels, so this is possible. Because for the normal people it may look it's very abnormal thing to do, but it is not. Normal people are stuck at physical plane and mental plane, because a lot of our wishes, lot of our desires are in the physical plane and mental plane. But when you look at the sadhakas, sadhus, they are not bounding themselves to the worldly pleasures. So they are in the different world because they have access to other world, other energies, their frequencies are different. So when our frequency is different, when we change our frequency, when our entire body energy, the things change around us. That is why you may see the film stars or those who work hard with their body, okay, their magnetism changes because their presence makes a lot of difference. Public goes mad. Okay. So, and our body itself produces a lot of positive frequencies. There are a lot of secrets about certain frequencies. Then, for example, Dhanishta Nakshatra is responsible for wealth. And in our body, there is a certain place where Dhanishta Nakshatra frequency is being released. And when that frequency is blocked, the money or the dhan flow blocks. So how to activate these things? So I am conducting this, entire course on this nakshatra frequencies and how this resonance impacts our body in detail. So, in this program, I am teaching all these things very specifically with scientific data, which, helps you to understand yourself as well as to heal or to reprogram a lot of people from their difficulties. So when you look at our voice, the sample of our voice, okay, so as seen in the picture, around the spinal cord, there are different frequencies which we use in, music. That is called C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp. So these are the frequencies that are there in the musical world, in the keyboards or, in the instruments. Okay, or when, you compose music, these frequencies are very important. In the similar way, your body, when produces a voice, it is a sum of all these voices which can be separated out. So we have this technology where we can take sample of your voice and find out in the real time. See, when you look at your birth chart, only 5 to 10% of your current status can be found out in terms of your biology or in terms of what energy is blocked, because everything is resonance, everything is frequency. It could be money, it could be relationship, it could be anything. Anything is a frequency that you are carrying right now. Now, by looking at the horoscope, you can understand very little, but by understanding your voice, it can be very, very specific which frequency is lacking. And it's scientific as well, which frequency is lacking, which frequency needs work in your body. So what need to be done for it to get result very quickly? So these things, as biofrequency, okay, what needs grounding, what needs, a frequency like C sharp, okay, whether your throat energy or whether your heart energy is blocked. So everything will be able to know from your voice, which is a real state. The dynamic state of you or dynamic horoscope of you is your voice. And each and every human being, we carry 12-stranded DNA. And inside our body, the design of human has different motors. That is what we call it as chakras. So these chakras are connected through channels. So when you're born, based on the position of nakshatras and your longitude and latitude as a center, around you, what is the energy at that point of time determines your life purpose, your life path, and your soul purpose. And that accordingly, it opens up certain channels and blocks certain channels. So that is why everyone is not different. Everyone is not same. People are different. People born with the same DNA, maybe on the same day, maybe at the same time, but over a period of time, their environment, their food, everything influences them and they become completely different. So this is the question a lot of people have, why these things happen. Why? Because everything is not determined, okay, just by the position of the nakshatras. This also, over a period of time, dynamically, these things change, which influences your DNA, which influences your patterns. So that is the reason when everybody has got access to achieve the highest, but based on your patterns that you develop, influence of your environment, you go through different states in life or you achieve different things. Everyone is here to play a role, but everyone also has the opportunity to transform. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. Everyone must attempt to transform to be a higher state. Okay, so understanding these energies and understanding how the resonance or how the frequency works on your body and how you can change your DNA through the frequency. There have been a lot of studies and experiments on water. If you look at the picture here on this side, so these are the different experiments done on water with different frequencies. And water gets into certain structure when you play music. So in the similar way, our body is 70% water. So when we go through emotional things, when we go through emotional, stress or problems, first thing is the water content in our body gets distorted. That's why a lot of people, even science says 80%, more than 80% of the health conditions are originating from mind. So the chakras, different chakras, they respond to different frequencies. They align with certain frequencies. They perform with the highest energy at certain frequencies. And the chakras or the motor, they look like lotus. And each of the chakras, they have specific bija mantras or the frequency sounds that they respond to and they perform best. In the similar way, we can look at the water. Water or even dust, in different frequencies, they take different shapes. So in today's world, what happens is most of the cities, the water itself is having a lot of problems. Acidic water, unstructured water, people drink. So then people feel tired, people, um, get diseases, all because most of the things happen directly impact on your mind, directly impact the water content on your body. So you can see the frequencies for crown chakra, third eye chakra, throat chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus, and sacral and root chakra. They are main energy centers in our body. They do exist, and you can feel by operating at certain frequencies, and you can see the difference. So, for example, when you are going through financial difficulty as well as when you are going through the relationship issues, it means that the root chakra is impacted in your body. And by constantly working on your root chakra, you can change that situation. So the change of DNA, the change of frequency can change your DNA. But you need to know how to do it because there is certain time limit for everything that need to work. So first thing is to understand tree of life. So everything in this cosmic world is connected. And you must understand the nakshatra that you carry or you are born in, that's your foundation. And remaining nakshatras are their trunks, means they give you strength. And they are the branches. They give a lot of possibilities. And they act as the bridge between heaven and earth. So that is why lot of nakshatra, most all the nakshatras, they have one specific tree which connects that energy, nakshatra energy between heaven and earth. Means when you are born in a particular nakshatra, when you either plant a particular tree that is related to your nakshatra, so that gives you continuous energy. That teaches you a lot of things in your life. So now gene expression changes, means you have transformed or there's an opportunity for you to transform. So everyone can transform, and everyone can transform when you know that what is your golden triangle. What is your golden triangle means why, what, and when. So you can redefine your possibility. So your birth chart or your voice talks about your personality, your life purpose, your life path, and the possibilities that you carry. So your voice is very, very predominant in giving this kind of information, which a lot of people ignore, or a lot of people don't have knowledge about it. So people, go to hospitals and spend a lot of money, go to astrologers and spend a lot of money. Okay. But they're directionless. But when you know who you are and the purpose you are born and what you can do, what is your life purpose, that becomes a very, very powerful and preventive thing. So your habits and your expressions or your epigenetics work as a genetic command. So as you know, or you may not know, that your transformation impacts 3 generations later and 3 generations before. Because these generations, even though you don't see now, it exists in a parallel world. So you don't just follow habits, your genes listen to them. Repetition is important for changing your epigenetics. Repetition. So environment and habits gives genetic response. You can reprogram. You can reprogram your genetic expressions by working again and again, over and again on it. So your DNA is not just your destiny, it's your habits. And habits are your commands for your biology or your body. Every habit is a signal. Every signal shapes your biology. And this entire thing shapes your destiny. So that is why people say that you do your karma in the best possible way, because in your horoscope, the planets are organized in such a way for you to clear your debts, means your pending karmas. What is your pending karma? Is understood by your life purpose, soul purpose, and life path. So I am giving you a free guide on how to change your gene expression in the description below. And in that, okay, identify your moon nakshatra and dasha period and choose one remedy. And you commit to it 40 days and track your shift, how your genetic expressions change. And if you need more guidance, or if you are interested in learning the science of how nakshatras and how your gene expressions are connected, very, very specifically because I have the entire thing, what frequency means what, and tools for you to measure everything and to know everything. What nakshatra means, which frequency, what chakra means, which frequency in detail. So, if you are interested to learn about the resonance, the nakshatra resonance, join my program. This program will be for 6 months, in detailed program. I'm going to give you a lot of material with the scientific data, and it's a pure scientific approach for astrology, and it will give to the detail of which nakshatra, which pada means what characteristics, everything will be given in detail. And those who are interested, you can contact me in the number given below. And also, if you want to test your voice frequency, you send your 1 minute voice sample to me. I'll tell you a lot about you. And if you want, use my services to get the report about your voice, you can contact me on the number. Thank you. And we are coming up with more videos in detail about different frequencies and different things about epigenetics and DNA. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.